Today, I am naming a disease as old as human history. A disease that kills millions and afflicts billions. A disease that you likely have, unless you stand in direct sunlight for several hours a day, every day. A disease that plagues everyone living in a modern society and has yet to be named. Until today. I am naming it chronic light deprivation. Humans use light to breathe. Human beings use light from the sun to breathe. And because we do not acknowledge this scientific fact, billions are suffering needlessly. Our cells are in a constant state of suffocation. Within the cell, there is a chemical called nitric oxide that acts like a plastic bag over the cell, preventing it from breathing. Light dissolves this bag, and your cell can breathe again. Today, I will be discussing chronic light deprivation, its history, its cellular mechanism, and how we can write software to end nearly all disease. In 1896, a young Icelandic physicist named Niels Finsen successfully cured smallpox. Cured smallpox! Smallpox, a viral disease 15 times deadlier than COVID, with a death toll in the hundreds of millions. Cured smallpox, a disease which, according to the World Health Organization, has no cure. 7 years later, in 1903, Finsen cured tuberculosis, again with light therapy. This time, he won the Nobel Prize. The same year, he began building an artificial sunbath that he believed would be a staple in every household because of the necessity for our human biology. Tragically, Finsen died 9 months after winning his prize, and his work with light fell into ambiguity. The most important medical device ever created, the cure for smallpox, fell into oblivion. Until today. I am picking up where he left off. Now, Finsen didn't fully know how light magically cured disease, but now we do. Remember high school biology? What is the one thing that we actually remember from high school biology? The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And indeed, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It processes oxygen as we breathe, splitting it in two and creating usable cellular energy. And a mitochondria without light is in a constant state of suffocating. Mitochondria require light to dissolve nitric oxide, a chemical that inhibits them from breathing properly. Adequate daily sunlight is a physiological necessity. And no, the light within your home or your workplace is not enough. Even bright rooms are a factor of 1,000 times less bright than a sunny day. This is an unspoken public health crisis of unspeakable magnitudes because we ignore one simple fact. Like plants, humans photorespire. We use photons, or light, to respire or process energy from oxygen. And because we do not tell people this fact, billions are suffering needlessly. A kindergartner could tell you that a plant needs sunlight. If a flower doesn't get enough sunlight, it wilts and it dies. And if you don't get enough sunlight, you wilt. And in humans, that wilting is seen as depression, cancer, dementia, Alzheimer's, MS, Crohn's, hypertension, arthritis. The list goes way, way on. And light can help treat these diseases because when you don't have light, your body is in a constant state of suffocating. And it is impossible to fight off disease when your body is constantly suffocating. A human cell that cannot process oxygen, by definition, is a cancerous cell. It has undergone the Warburg effect, and it can no longer process oxygen. It is chronically suffocating. And unless you sunbathe naked daily, you suffer from chronic light deprivation. Let me make an analogy. Let's talk about water. If human beings were unaware of the importance of water and a healthy diet, most of us would suffer from chronic water deprivation or chronic dehydration. When we go to the doctor, we would tell them about our symptoms: dry throat, headache, fatigue, and the doctor would prescribe us medicine to help us. And it would kind of work, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't matter because we are just dehydrated and we just need to drink water. That is exactly what is happening with light. We are unaware of the physiological importance of light, and therefore, billions of us are chronically deprived. We go to the doctor and talk about our symptoms: fatigue, depression, dementia, and we're prescribed medicines, and they sort of work. But at the end of the day, it does not matter because we just need more light so our cells can breathe again. But just like drinking a cup of water, the cure is easy. You need to stand in direct sunlight for several hours a day, completely naked. Just like our pre-civilization ancestors did. For the vast, vast majority of human history, we rose with the sun in northern Africa, ran all day, and slept with the sunset in the nude. In the sky, we had a near infinite energy source that our cells evolved to utilize, regulating, empowering vital functions within our body. And now, on the evolutionary scale of human history, we are living in a tiny blip of time where we are wearing clothing and living indoors, completely shutting off a fundamental energy source. And it has real consequences. Consequences that can only be solved by proper light intake per day. So you're probably asking yourself, if this is true, then why hasn't it been done before? It's been done before. It was done in 1896 when Finson cured smallpox. It was done in 1903 when Finson cured tuberculosis, and it's being done every single day in many, many hospitals. Red light therapy, low-level laser therapy, laser treatment, pain management, all of it is under the same umbrella. And all of it misses the bigger picture. We are chronically deprived of light. And so the real question is, why have you not heard about this? And that answer has two parts. Part one, until recent advancements in lighting technology, it was incredibly difficult to simulate the type of light that I'm referring to. When Finson cured tuberculosis, his light bulbs were the size of rooms. But now, with LED technology, we can have extremely high outputs with unbelievable energy efficiencies on a microchip. We can simulate the sun on a device as small as a grain of rice. Part two, every light therapy company is a product company trying to sell you a product to treat one specific disease or disorder, but they miss the larger picture. They are focused on a sliver instead of the whole. Yes, light can effectively cure and prevent many diseases, because light is a physiological requirement for healthy human bodies, and when you don't get enough, your cells are chronically suffocating. Until we acknowledge that all humans photorespire, light therapy is exiled to hospitals. Look, I'm just a guy, a guy who has obsessively pored over hundreds of clinical papers documenting the effect of light therapy on human beings. A guy that thinks this is the most important and urgent message that I could possibly share. A guy that read and focused and distilled this message to make this video, because if you didn't watch this far, then I failed my mission. And now I am making it my life's work to spread this knowledge and to make light accessible to every human being on the planet. I am an engineer and a scientist who has pored over hundreds of clinical studies, distilling my position and designing the world's best phototherapy device. Why am I so confident in our device? Because every other phototherapy device has a missing link. The number one failure mechanism of light therapy is human error. Even an extra centimeter of distance when doing light therapy can mean the difference between reversing a malignant tumor and having no effect. And to no fault of humans. That's small margins. And it's very complex and difficult to utilize technology with a lot of variables. So we solved that problem. We did the hard work. We compiled scientific studies to get the best possible recommendations. We designed an LED device that we can perfectly tune for the intensity, for the wavelength, for the duration, for the dosage, to the proximity, and to even the skin tone of the user. We can provide a perfect phototherapy session every time. We call it Sunflower, and we know it will help the world. We are JustLight, a public benefit corporation with one mission: end chronic light deprivation, the greatest threat to humanity that has yet to be named. And we're doing it with JustLight. Thank you.